Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Giovanni's here in Chapmanville, West Virginia, where we're here with the Chapmanville High School football team getting set for the state quarterfinals on Saturday. How we feeling, guys? Yeah! Again, Chapmanville comes in 11-0, heading into Bridgeport this week, the number one team in Class AAA after defeating Greenbrier East 46-37 last week. We're here with three of the main players on that Chapmanville club: Benji Atkins to my right, to my left, Jackson Topping, and Austin Atkins. And, guys, let's go ahead and get started talking a little bit about last week. Again, you guys haven't been behind really at all this season, and then right out of the gate, quick return for a touchdown, get behind the 8-ball right off the bat. What was the feeling on the sideline for you guys falling behind early and really staying behind most of the first half?
We knew it was going to be tough coming out, and we had a good game plan behind it. And falling behind early kind of was tough, but we fought back and got the win.
And, Benji, you guys up front did a great job all night long being able to run the ball against them. That was a pretty stout group that was up front for Greenbrier East. Can you talk about the matchup you guys had with them?
Yeah, we knew they were going to be big and physical, but we trust in our guys and what they can do. So.
And Austin started calling you Mr. Touchdown after you hadn't had any in the first 7 games. Now you're living in the end zone. I think you got your mail there last week. What was it like getting on the board once you guys fell behind and just realizing that you guys had an offensive attack that was going to be able to sustain all night?
Yeah, we got down. I think that was the biggest thing for us. Everybody put their head down. They started working. They knew that it was going to be a dogfight after that first play. They took to the house. And we came together as a team. We trust the coaches, trust each other.
And thinking about last week, too, going in 10-0, a lot of people said you guys hadn't played anybody, that you guys were going to be one and done. It was going to be over with as soon as you guys got off the bus. How much did you guys carry a lot of that with you into the game last week, Jackson? Because I know that had to be some good bulletin board material.
Oh, it was for sure personal. I mean, we knew coming in that it was going to be a tough matchup, but I think we trusted our coaches, played together. Even though if we fell behind, we battled back and played as a team.
And Benji, what was the ride home like? I can imagine that it's a long ride home from Greenbrier, and it's a lot tougher whenever you don't come away with a W, but I'd imagine that bus ride was a little bit animated.
Oh, it was amazing. Music, everything. It was the best.
So Coach Belcher didn't mind whatever you guys had playing?
No.
It's amazing what winning does, folks. Well, Austin, you guys on the offensive side, too, really has found your stride all season long. Can you guys talk about just how you guys have been able to navigate the early season where you guys were trying to figure out, how we're going to distribute the ball, how we're going to share the ball, and now it just seems like it's second nature to you guys because everybody gets involved, everybody gets a chance to shine.
Yeah, that's what Coach Barker does a really good job at, is getting everybody involved and putting everybody in the right spot and letting our playmakers make plays. And that was one of the biggest things coming in this year. We knew we had a great skill set, and we knew that it was going to be hard for us to, kind of distribute the ball around and be okay with that. But I think that's what we've done best with is, supporting each other and celebrating whenever one of the skill guys scored a touchdown.
I agree. And now you guys take on Bridgeport this week. Going to be another long trip, about 2.5 hours, close to 3 hours on the way up there. And I know you guys have been really meticulously looking at game film this week. Talk about it a little bit, Jackson. How do you guys feel about the matchup up front against them?
I think we're going to be pretty fine, but we all got to play, and it's going to be won and lost in the trenches. We got to play our game and just don't let them come in there and just play how we played all season and dominate.
And Benji, you probably looking at your matchups too at the tight end position. Again, I know you're looking at blocking as well, but do you see anything where you feel like you might be able to get some big plays coming on Saturday night against them?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. I mean, our coaching staff is just amazing. We've been game planning for them so well.
And Austin, I know you're looking at the film too. Again, Trey has started to get a little bit more attention with double teams. You've been getting a little bit more one-on-one now, and you've been able to make teams pay for it. Do you feel like you may see something similar on Saturday up there at Bridgeport?
Well, I mean, yeah, they're going to do what they do, and if they double trade, then we have me or Jeremy Collins or BNG or Preston Kovac in the run game. Like I said, it's pick your poison with us.
I agree with you, and I think it's going to be an amazing game. Looking forward to an amazing trip up there, guys. Congratulations on the season. Look forward to it tomorrow, or look forward to it on Saturday. Hopefully we get it rolling into the semis.
Thank you.
All right, those are three of your main players here for the Chapmanville Tigers joining us. We'll step aside for a quick break and be joined by a new group right after this as you're watching Chapmanville Tiger football here on the D&D Sports Network.
Smokey Armstrong here from United Motorsports of Belfry. Looking for your next adventure? We've got the motorcycles, side-by-sides, and ATVs needed to take your riding to the next level. Whether you're hitting the track, enjoying the trails, exploring the open road, or seeking comfort and style, we've got you covered with trusted brands like Honda, Polaris, and Kawasaki. At United Motorsports, we're not just about selling power sports, we're passionate about helping you find the perfect ride. Our team will work with you to customize your vehicle, offer expert advice, and provide top-notch service. No matter where your adventure takes you, ready to get started? Call us at 606-237-7311 or visit www.unitedmotorsportsbelfry.com, or stop by today. Your next ride is waiting.
Back here at Giovanni's in Chapmanville on this rainy Tuesday night here on D&D Sports Network. Chris Kidd with 4 new players from the Chapmanville Tigers as they get set for their quarterfinal matchup with Bridgeport on Saturday night. Again, to my far left, we got Trey Ward, Dakota Dalton next to me. Over here, we got Preston Kovac and Dawson Atkins for the Chapmanville Tigers here this evening. And, I can see the affection that Preston and the offensive line have for each other. It's been a great brotherhood all year long. Dawson, can you talk about what it's like blocking for all these great backs and how well you guys have done up front all season long to help this team?
Oh, man, it's really, it's nothing really. you get your block, you get your man, but it's up to these guys to make the cut, really. I know we get a lot of recognition, but they don't get enough for making the cuts as good as they do, And even our quarterback, when he runs the ball, man, when he pulls it, he sees to feel better than anybody else does.
Mm-hmm. And Preston, I guess one of the big questions is how is the injury doing? Again, last week you looked really good, 202 total yards overall in that game. I don't think anybody really anticipated you were going to have that kind of output after you've been struggling with that injury the last few weeks, and then looked like it kind of got re-aggravated after that first touchdown, but you just kept pushing forward all evening long. How do you feel going into the quarterfinals?
Last week I was probably about 80% going into Green Berries. This week I'm good as I've ever been, 100% this week.
That's a good sign for Chapmanville going forward if the people's running back is ready to go on Saturday night. And Dakota, get out there, sophomore, first big playoff game since last year. Again, last year was kind of like a stepping stone into all of this, and obviously had to be a little bit nerve-wracking going in. How'd you feel going in last week in the situation where you guys were now 10-0, chance to win your first playoff game in over a decade?
I felt great, especially after last year. Nerves really got to me. I played horrible last year in our playoff appearance. This year, kept my composure, told everybody in the locker room that we was going to be all right, go out here and win this ball game, and advance to the next week.
And Trey, it seemed like you got a little hung up last week. Was those just cramps that you had?
Yeah, that was just cramps.
Well, I tell you what, how is it someone like you who can outrun a deer get cramps and start hurting like that? That just doesn't seem fathomable.
I don't know. I try to hydrate, but it still don't work.
Well, I tell you what, you've been outstanding all year long, buddy, and now you come in here against this Bridgeport club on Saturday night. Obviously, they have one of the top talented teams in the state in any class. What do you feel like after you've watched some of their film this week, and how do you like some of the matchups?
I feel like we match up with them really well, and I think if we just follow the coach's game plan, then I think it'll be a good game.
And Dakota, obviously, you're going to have a lot to have to survey and have to read in this game going forward. They have a strong defense. They've shut down a lot of good offenses all year long. How do you feel about what you've seen so far this week?
I feel good. Bridgeport's always going to do what they do best, shut down run, try to shut down the pass. They run the ball really well. But I think this week, I think that we're going to be ready if we listen to our coach's game plan, just go from there.
And Mr. Kovac, I know that this is normally not the side of the ball you get a lot of questions on, but defensively, you guys are going to have to try and slow them down. Again, they've been averaging over 30, 40, 50 points a week coming in against a lot of good top competition. What have you guys looked at on the defensive side of the ball to try and get those numbers down and try and keep this game at your all's pace?
If we want to keep this still a low-scoring game, everybody just has to key into what Coach Bender's saying and listen to what he tells us. If you key in, and he's not let a team but one time put over, I think, 20 points.
Mm-hmm. And they've got some big boys up front too, Dawson. So I said, you guys looking at the offensive line, and you guys done such a good job controlling the line of scrimmage all year long and dictating play. Is it something you guys feel comfortable with that you can do again this week?
Oh, I stay comfortable, man. I mean, we can play any team in the world, and I would still be comfortable, not because of me though. I mean, I think, I got David on my side, I got Diego at center, and the other side of the line, no questions asked about them.
And you are the senior on that offensive line this year, so obviously there's a little bit of extra responsibility, not just from your play, but from a leadership standpoint. How much did you take that on? Because I kind of know what it was like just having you in class last year. You were the one that was pushing everyone to get to the weight room. You were the one that was telling everyone we got to start working now. It can't just be whenever August rolls around. And this was back in May, April, March, whenever you were starting to push some of this. So what's it been like being the leader on that line, and how have you been able to lead by example?
Sometimes you got to be honest, though. Like David and Jackson, man, like I'm good, I'm not the smartest, though. Like them two, they correct me a lot. I ain't going to lie. But, I mean, as far as the weight room goes, yeah, sometimes it's a struggle getting them in the weight room, but they know when it's go time, it's go time.
And Preston, now that you guys come back out here for this chance to try and get to the state semifinals, I know you guys don't look ahead a whole lot, and it's hard to look back and reflect, but whenever you guys kind of look back at where you've gone through and what you've gone through this year, how gratifying is it to be in this position this late in the season?
It's pretty good. I mean, first year I came in as a sophomore, we went, 5-5. Last year we made playoffs and just got beat out by Rardon. And this year we're 11-0 mid school history.
And Dakota, last year there were a couple of tough games early on as a freshman. I know that you felt like you faced some criticism as well after a couple of those early losses, and now you've really grown a lot in the last year, not just with your play, your decision-making, everything else. How have you been able to mature this much in just a 12-month span? Because it's really been phenomenal to watch. I mean, you haven't turned the ball over very much this year. You've been able to throw very effectively, run very effectively. Your decision-making's been great. What was it you worked on to get yourself this much better this fast?
I got on the field a lot this summer. I kind of pushed basketball to the side, which everybody thinks he's a basketball player. But I'll tell everybody right now that I'm a football player. That's what I want to do when I get older. But that's what I pushed for this summer is got on the field a lot, got in the weight room, got faster, and that's really what helped me out.
And Trey, again, you were at Man for the last 3 years. You were there pretty much your entire life playing and stuff. Now you're down here in this position. I know you guys got to the playoffs at Man before, but you haven't been this deep, I don't think, before. How does this feel going in now to this type of environment where you know the entire state's going to have their eyes on this game?
It feels great.
It does feel great. And I said, I know that the feelings of trying to express, like, what this means to you sometimes doesn't come until later on, but if nothing else, how excited are you to have this opportunity?
I'm so excited to have this opportunity with these guys. I didn't know a lot of these guys when I first transferred over, but I got to know them a lot, and I couldn't want to do this with anybody else.
Well, guys, you all have had a phenomenal year. Good luck on Saturday to all of you. I said you've been great students, great people. I said I look forward to seeing how you guys fare on Saturday.
Thank you.
All right, these four are on their way to Bridgeport on Saturday night to take on Bridgeport. We'll be back right after this break with some new interviews here on the D&D Sports Network. Almost out. Okay, just bring it in a little bit tighter. Oh, PD. I'm just making it up as I go along right now. I'm just making it up as I go along right now.
Well, you're doing good. He don't have everything right now. I said, he's done this for so long, he don't need to.
I didn't know I was supposed to be here until he called me.
Oh, really?
I had no clue. I was in Kroger shop. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I can cut that. Yeah, sure. Kid here with you. We finally got the riffraff out. Now we've got the handsome guys up here as Chris Kidd and P.D. Clemens joining you now here on the D&D Sports Network. And I appreciate him because he's never arrested me yet. And I said he's been a great guy, great role model in the community as well. Always been very helpful to Tiger Sports. And P.D., what does moments like this mean to you, being a longtime member of this community, seeing all these people out to support Chapmanville and all the support they've had all year long? I know that it's really fun to see the community this lively over this team.
You know, I've been here in the Chapmanville area. I've been in Logan since 1977, but I moved to Chapmanville in 1986. Mm-hmm. And I love Chapmanville. But this group of guys right here is probably the best, tightest group of guys that I've seen.
I agree. I said it's been really amazing not just see how good they've been, but how together they've been and how much they support each other, because that can be hard. I always loved what Pat Riley said after they won the title in '87. He said, called it the disease of me. You know, everybody wanting their shots, wanting their points, wanting their glory. And these guys could easily have done that all year long because of the talent they have, but they've all decided to stick together and really care about each other's success. And that's kind of hard to find in team sports now.
Right, I keep stats for them, so I'm down on the field all the time. And I'm telling you, these guys cheer each other on. Coaching staffs all get together, and they all get along. And that's what makes this team so great, is that coaches have faith in the players, and the players have faith in the coaches. Mm-hmm. And they stay together.
Well, since you've been here since 1986, again, you were here when that last team went undefeated in that era. Again, they honored them earlier this year at one of the football games. Can you talk about some of your favorite memories from Chapmanville football over the years?
I've had a lot of great memories here. I've coached a lot of these kids, not these kids, but I coached Zach, and I coached Wiley, and I coached Adam in basketball. And I have a lot of great memories, but we've had a lot of good teams. We've had some bad teams, but I still have good memories with those kids too. I mean, it's just a great community to be in.
Well, I said one of my favorite stories was that I transferred down here from Logan in 10th grade for about 2 weeks. And I was on Ronnie Uten's football team that year. I was practicing with him, and then everything just got too difficult. I had to go back to Logan because of family and everything else. And that year we went 0-10. And Chapmanville made the playoffs, and I was sitting at home like, I hate this so much. So I understand where you're coming from with the Logan and Chapmanville portion of all this, but you feel an affection for both communities, and that's what makes, I think, all this so special, because it's not just that I care about one, I care about this one, I care about all of it. And I mean, whenever we can be supportive of all of our student athletes in the community, I think it makes a big difference to all of them as they go forward.
Oh, that's true. I hope, man, and Logan win every game they play except when they play the Chapmanville Tigers.
Right.
So I do support them, but I've always supported this group first. But I do love the other communities.
Well, I know you guys are going to get a chance to talk to them going forward, but if you had a chance to stand in front of all of them going into this game on Saturday night, I know that we have the luxury of hindsight and we have the luxury of looking back and reflecting, but what would be one thing you want these young guys to think about as they go in to play this playoff game?
Well, I just don't want them to be intimidated. They're as good as Bridgeport is, but they got to know they're as good as Bridgeport is. So the biggest thing is don't be intimidated, and you continue to play as hard as you can play.
Absolutely, PD. I couldn't said it better myself. We appreciate you for joining us here tonight. Make sure you go save me some pizza after this, okay?
Okay, got you.
PD Clemens joining us here on the D&D Sports Network. We'll be back right after this for more talk about Chapmanville Tigers football action here on the D&D Sports Network.
If you got a big job to get done, don't just trust any flagging service. Call Diamond Flagging Service. Diamond Flagging Service keeps your community safe while also making sure it stays moving. Give Diamond Flagging Service a call today for their services. They also offer amazing job opportunities. Diamond Flagging Services, proud supporter of the Mountain Athletes. If you're looking for a friendly and fun atmosphere to enjoy your daily cuisine, come to Cheech's Pizza in Lenore, West Virginia. Cheech's Pizza has world-renowned cheese sticks, delicious pizza, and the best subs in the pizza and pasta game. Don't forget to take advantage of our milkshake shop located inside. Bring your family down to meet ours. We are the place that treats you like family from the second you pull in the parking lot. We look forward to seeing you here at Cheech's Pizza.
Welcome back, everybody, here on the D&D Sports Network. Chris Kidd now with Joel McNeely here from Chapmanville. Again, the head honcho, as it would be in this area. And you've been so good, Joel, over the years to so many of the athletes, so many of the teams, including my tennis kids over the years. I remember after my girls won states, you guys did a great job inviting them over to the community center, having a little meet and greet with everybody at your all's town meeting. And you guys have done such an amazing job of not just recognizing one group, but all groups. And it's great to know that you have people in the community that care that much about all the people that live in this town.
Well, thank you. And yes, we support, it's the children. Mm-hmm. You have to support the children. That's the community. I look around this room here and I see young men who played midget league football, middle school football. And in midget league, they played against one another. Now they're a cohesive unit, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, look at them. And let's not forget the coaches and the staff that goes along with it. It's not just the players. Somebody's got to lead they got to lead the herd. Let's put it that way, you know. So, and I want to give a shout out to D&D Sports. If it wasn't for you fellas, I'd have probably missed a number of games. I really do. Your voice rings in my ear. I can hear it. I don't know who that is.
I'm sorry. I apologize for that. No, but I'm like you, Darryl and David and Ashley and all them have done an amazing job helping us bring you all the action, helping us be there to try and support the community. And I think that is one of the great things that we get to do is that a lot of people move away. Some of these guys may move away at some point, but, you know, with things like D&D Sports around, you always have a chance to come home even if you're not home. And I think that's a wonderful thing to get to do, don't you?
Oh, sure, yes. I mean, isn't it nice? You could be in California, Lord forbid. Pull up D&D Sports on the internet and watch your home team, you know. So, but I really want to give a shout out to these men and just let them know that they're doing themselves proud. The community's proud of you. I'm proud of you. But just continue to do yourself proud. Just remember, you're going to be looking at yourself in the mirror the morning after. Leave it there on the field.
Absolutely. And Joel, you've been a part of this community for a long time now. Again, you've seen it progress so much over the years. I mean, I remember being younger and there's not as many things in the community to do as there are now. How have you been able to help in this Chapmanville area to help build not just the schooling, not just the sports, but also everything that we get to enjoy around town now?
Well, I moved here in '81. I've raised, I ain't going to tell you how many children in this community. And the community, it's a bedroom community. It's a small town.
Yes.
It's just like living up the hollow that I grew up in. I got in trouble at the head of the hollow. My mama knew about it before I got home.
Yep.
All right. So, and the people here look out for the children, and they know each other. I guarantee you, if you boys get in trouble, your mother's going to know about it before you get home. So, you know, it ain't going to be the police knocking on the door. The phone's going to ring. And that's what it takes. It does take the community, and they do look out for them, and they're supportive. If you think they're not supportive, just look at your tennis. Mm-hmm. I don't care if it's the boys or girls basketball, softball, baseball, football. Soccer is getting big now.
Yeah.
And the community does support it. And some of the neighborhoods, whenever we have a crowd like we have, don't get one complaint about the parking.
Nope.
Don't get one complaint. You need to tow this vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. So the community does support it, and that's what makes it. And we have people like the Mullenses who invest within this town and make it grow. Mm-hmm. That's what you need, and they're big supporters. I bring the Mullenses in because, well, we're in their little building, but we have many more. The Daltons are another big supporter. Mm-hmm. Yes. So.
And you've been around to see a lot of former past Chapmanville teams come in and out and play in football. What have been some of your favorite memories about football? I mean, maybe it's not even one particular game or one particular group. Maybe it's just something in general that you always look forward to with football. But what's been some of your favorite things about football season every time it comes around?
Opening season. Mm-hmm. The opening. I like it when, and sometimes I just drive over there and watch whenever they have that first midnight play, mm-hmm. practice. The opening, just the thought of Friday nights, mm-hmm. Friday Night Lights. Yeah, and I like that.
And if you had a message, I know you kind of said what you thought a little bit ago, but it's kind of like what I talked about with PD. You know, we have a little bit of looking back, and I know they don't like it whenever we do it. I say it in class, like, you know, one day, and I hate it because I know I sound like the old man that I am in those moments. But, you know, sometimes it's good to impart that knowledge because one day they will understand it with either their own kids or whenever they just gain the hindsight too. If you could have them kind of think about something going into this game, what would you have them think about going into this type of matchup?
Well, I will tell you this. It's the memories. I remember I got to play for a little while. I played for Logan. Don't hold that against me, but there are some plays that I remember more than others. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a play that sticks out in your head throughout this whole season, and you'll relive that. And I will tell you this: when you have your children, you're going to try to get them involved as well. So just keep that thought in your head. There's going to be that one play, that one game, and this brotherhood that you have. You guys, 20 years from now, when you have that reunion, you're going to be going, "Hey, remember when?"
Yep.
Remember when?
Yeah, they always say that sometimes looking back is like the lowest form of communication, but I think it's important to look back because if you don't know how to move forward sometimes. And I think that's one of the best things that we've all been able to do and grow from playing sports, and what we're able to try and impart on some of the people that are coming up through this. And Joel, you've been such a huge part of that for everybody in the community. I want to thank you for everything you do, buddy. Thank you.
Just one thing, fellas. Remember this: this is a brotherhood, just like the military. You're a team. There's no one particular person. If you've got a good quarterback and he doesn't have a front line, he can't even get a play off.
Absolutely.
So it takes every single one of you.
You know, I appreciate you being here tonight, Mr. McNeely. Again, thank you so much again for everything you do in the community. We'll see you on Saturday night. Absolutely. Joel with us here on the D&D Sports Network. We'll be back right after this.
Here at Logan Bank and Trust, we are committed to serving the needs of the Southern coalfields.
For any of your financial needs, we encourage you to stop by one of our 5 convenient locations or apply online today at lbnt.com.
Whether you choose to stop by or visit us online, our team is here to help you every step of the way.
Buying a new home, expanding your business? Choose Logan Bank and Trust. Let's bank together.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Unfortunately, water, mold, or fire damage can happen to you. Restoration One of Southern West Virginia is available 24/7 to help take the stress out of your mess. Our primary goal is to respond and restore your property back to normal as quickly and safely as possible. When disaster strikes, Restoration One is your go-to cleanup crew. Save our number now in case you need us later. Whether the job is big or small, give Restoration One a call. 304-443-4959.
Back here on the D&D Sports Network, we have a straggler that wandered in. Over here, Jack Mullins, the owner of Mullins Giovanni's here in Chapmanville, West Virginia. Again, we appreciate you hosting us here tonight, Jack, and doing so much for the community and doing so much for these kids. Like I said with Joel, you guys have really stepped up and helped my tennis team out whenever I coached and invited them over a lot to be here a part of all this. And you do this again here tonight. And this is really kind of the meet and greet spot here in Chapmanville, and I think you've done a good job of making it that way over the years with how welcoming you've been to the entire community.
Yeah.
Well, how did you guys kind of get started here in Chapmanville overall at this Giovanni's? And tell me, when was it that you decided that, hey, we really want to be a big part of the community?
Well, we started out here in '81, and I went to school at Chapmanville, and I played, where'd Dakota go? I was a quarterback, Dakota, and a linebacker. Where'd he go to? But how old I am, well, first of all, here's the football from the undefeated season. It's been hanging on the wall up here since '85 or '86. The names are wore off, but we've got me, and I want another football. And how old I am, I coached Bobby in football, and I coached Mike in football. Let me tell you a story about Mike. Mike wasn't the fastest. He wasn't the biggest, but he could outrun. He'd run all day long. Remember that, Mike? He was a runner, weren't you, buddy? So I've seen these guys grow up and play football. I've seen all these young guys, but it's just good to be out here.
Well, that obviously gives you a very close connection to the community and to this sport, because if you've ever been a coach, you're always a coach one way or another, whether it's on the sideline or in the back seat, one or the other. But how important is this sport to you, and how many fun memories have you been able to hold about this sport?
Well, I'm going to tell one more about old Darryl here. When Darryl got started out, I got a video here somewhere. When he first I had to loan him money to get home on. And now look at him. He's fought 5 or 6 crews out here working. But I told this story back 10 years ago when he got started. We made the playoffs in 85 and 86, and they played in Charleston. It was a turf field. So Mickey Brown was the coach. He said, what are we going to do? We don't have turf shoes. And Giovanni's bought the first pair of turf shoes ever for the football team. So that's how far we go back.
That is wild. I was ready to say, I was like, turf wasn't something that you saw a whole lot of in 85, 86.
We had to buy shoes so they could go play in the playoffs. Yeah.
Well, and that's the wonderful thing. If you come here to Chapmanville Giovanni's, which obviously you haven't been yet, you definitely need to make the trip. I mean, it's paraphernalia, it's memorabilia everywhere, whether it's Marshall, WU, Chapmanville basketball, Chapmanville tennis, Chapmanville football. I mean, it's all over the walls here, and I think that's what makes it so special, is that you guys are ingrained in this community and supporting this community. And I think that's why so many people like to call this place home, whether it's after a ball game, whether it's before a ball game. I mean, this is just kind of the hot spot to meet at, and you guys done a great job of making it that.
Yeah. I'll tell one more football tale. I think we had the undefeated season. Before that, I think they won 1 or 2 games a year before this. So I told them, I said, you guys, next year when you win, I'll feed you free. They went 2 years undefeated. So Giovanni's lost money that football season.
Well, what were some of your favorite memories of that 85 and 86 years? Again, because, you know, going undefeated and having that much, especially after having that much adversity, I mean, it really makes it all more special.
We had such great linemen. I mean, our linemen were great. You know, David Dean and I don't know how these guys, Timmy Chafin, all these guys. I think, didn't Timmy Chafin come and speak for you boys one time? Man, he had great backs. You know, John Hensley, I mean, Toller, all the Abbott boys, they were just like you guys. They were all come together at one time. They were just great.
Yeah.
This team is as good as I've seen here, though. This team here is as good, as close as I've seen. Right.
Well, how much do you love seeing some of your former players and some of the people that you used to coach? Now they're the ones helping coach and having kids, grandkids that are involved in all this. How special? I know it doesn't make us feel better because we're getting older, but I said, how special is that to see that?
I'm looking around here in the crowd. I'm probably the oldest one in here, you know. And it makes me feel old when I look and see people like Bobby and Mike here, you know. I'm thinking they got kids playing or coaching. So, yeah, we've been around a long time, but we are a community. I taught school. My wife retired teacher. My daughter taught school. My daughter-in-law teaches school. So we are Chapmanville.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, one of the things that I think has been so great over the years is the closeness, obviously, you talked about, but also the fact that you guys are always out in the community. You guys are always out helping feed the community, doing things in the community. And I think that's one of the recognizable things that everybody knows about Mullins Giovanni's here in Chapmanville, is that you guys are always there, willing to help out, willing to try and do a lot for a lot of the local teams, because you guys definitely give hand over fist a lot to try and help out.
Yeah, not just a football team. You know, we don't get out and pat ourselves on the back, but we do a lot for these churches, these youth groups in churches, some of the homeless people, some of the single moms. So we don't pat ourselves on the back, but we will tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, we help the whole community, not just the sports.
I was going to say, well, you guys give out anything for single guys with no kids?
No. We draw the line. We draw the line somewhere.
You know, that's fair. That's fair. See, he knew better. He knew I'd have taken this place out of business by now if he gave anything away to me. Well, last question, Jack. I'll let you get back to enjoying the evening. Again, ask some of the other guys if you had a message to these guys, because, you know, you've had a wealth of football knowledge over the years. What would be the one thing you want them to try and take away from Saturday night?
Well, you know, you got to enjoy the moment. You know, you're together. Some of these guys, seniors, you'll not see them again. So you got to enjoy the moment, play hard, and just be determined.
Absolutely. I said that's a very good message.
I appreciate these coaches, too. All these guys, I know what they sacrifice, how much time they put in. These guys put a lot of time in.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I said if you've ever been a coach, you appreciate what a coach does for his time. It's a lot of long hours, a lot of times where maybe you're not as with family as much as you wish to be, but you're doing something for the greater good of the community, hopefully, and doing something for the greater good of a lot of these young men's lives. And pay it forward is all you ask
But
at the
they
end
get
of the day.
paid good.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Probably about a quarter an hour. Is that right, man? About a quarter an hour? Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I told somebody, you want to get involved in coaching in high school, be prepared to lose money. So.
Yeah.
No, but Jack, you've been wonderful all throughout the years. I've known you all throughout the years I've been around the community. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you for hosting us, too. Again, Jack Mullins and Giovanni's here in Chapmanville, West Virginia. We'll be back right after this here on the D&D Sports Network.
Looking for a new healthcare provider? Come see us at Tug Valley Wellness Clinic. We take all patients from the ages 2 and up. Our staff has over 30 years of medical experience. We do everything from DOT physicals, wellness exams, adult and child, walk-in visits, and more. Call us today at 304-236-3601 and reach us Monday through Friday.
5 times is a charm. Congratulations to the awesome team at Precision Heating, Cooling, Electrical for earning its 5th National Best of the Best Award for customer satisfaction, the only HVAC company in West Virginia to earn our award for 5 straight years. If you need heating, cooling, electrical work, a fantastic generator, residential or commercial, done right at a fair price by honest experts, remember the name, Precision Heating, Cooling, Electrical. Visit PreciseHeatingCooling.com for an appointment. Precision, the best of the best, again.
Come on down to Ultimate Pond, located in Kermit, West Virginia, where we have all your firearm needs. Need cash? Trade in your gold today. From custom rifles and rifles accessories to the bare bone stock of pistols, we have it all. Come see us today at Ultimate Pond.
Stop by Treasures Unlimited, located in the old Highland Myers building in Kermit, West Virginia. They have a little bit of everything: tents, TVs, furniture, bikes, bins. Whatever you need, they have you at Treasures Unlimited. They also want to say, Go Panthers!
Back here on the D&D Sports Network here in Chapmanville, West Virginia at Giovanni's. Here with defensive coordinator Andy Bender now of the Chapmanville Tigers. And man, oh man, do I appreciate people like you. Again, I'm a Bengals fan. I don't really know what defense looks like. So can you tell me a little bit about how you were able to help change the culture coming in this year on this defensive side of the ball? Because obviously everybody wants to look at the highlights, the touchdowns, the points. Yeah. And a lot of times defense – it goes unnoticed, it goes underlooked until you notice it, but you guys did a phenomenal job all year long of just shutting down opponents. What were you able to do coming in here to help change this culture?
I think just like offense, we're blessed with great athletes looking around, especially our front, but we do a really good job of putting rules in early, staying disciplined. You know, our opponent's kind of the same way. I heard that he talks about being disciplined to rules and having a rule scheme. That's exactly how we are defensively. Everything goes by rules, and our guys do really good to their keys and reaction.
Yeah, and you've had a great run at Hearts as well. Yes. Over at the middle school there. I mean, you guys have had unbelievable years, year in and year out now, that I think really got you on the map as well. Yeah. And not only is it a feeder system into Chapmanville, but also now a lot of these guys get a chance to have you coming over. What has that been like, being able to be a part of that system and also a part of the high school system?
Well, I think bringing those two communities together was the biggest thing for us. So putting the R in Chapmanville Regional and making that important. And these guys fed into it. Our senior class is really heavy Hearts, and that group was really close, and got to watch them grow from 5th grade up. Funny enough, they ran single wing in Hearts Middle. That's what we were successful with. So now we're getting ready to play it, and that's kind of how they are their senior year. It's pretty special.
And I was going to say, they do like to run the ball a lot, Bridgeport does, and that's one of the things that I know is going to be difficult to stop with that single wing formation you talked about. Yep. But the fact that you do have some familiarity with it, And the fact that you guys kind of know how it's ran, has that helped you a little bit more in game planning this week, or is there something that you see that is going to be a little bit more difficult than you're used to?
Well, I mean, he runs it better than anyone we've seen run it. I mean, he writes about it, so Coach Ferris does a real good job at Bridgeport. It fits what we do because we're not used to we usually see zone teams or gap scheme teams. So seeing a rule scheme team, it's really tough for us. But it's been very fun, tiring, watched too much film. My scout coach, Chase, and Coach McLeod from middle schools came up and helped us this week, and they've put a lot of work in as well. So we're prepared.
And I think one of the best glowing things I can say about you is that every one of the defensive players that I've interviewed this year has come up, has had such high praise for the way that you game plan, the way that you set things up. They absolutely seem to love you. Again, I don't know if it's always that way in practice, but they definitely seem to really, really enjoy the way you coach and the way that you set them up each week. How close have you been with these guys going in this year?
Well, I can't answer why they like me. If you watch me practice and coach, I don't understand it. But, you know, they respect. I think this group wants to win. I think when they see things work that's being taught, they start gaining trust. And I could feel that after the Scott week and on. And I think, you know, kind of the most pinnacle part of the season was Mingo. We really clicked defensively coming out, having a pick six to end the half. That was really high to ride the end of the season out.
And last question, I'll let you get back to your group over there. But 11-0, again, something that shouldn't be sneezed at, shouldn't be overlooked, shouldn't be under-talked about. And I think that's been one of the great things we've been able to do with D&D and other places around the community this year. Again, going into this week against Bridgeport, nothing to lose.
Right.
And how do you feel about the season overall, and what is going to be one of the biggest takeaways you've had from these past 11 weeks going into this week?
Well, if I was going to pick an opponent for Chapmanville to really stamp being in AAA, when we probably don't have the numbers to be, let's go play the best.
Yeah.
So we're going to go play Bridgeport. We have the number one run defense. They have the number one run game. We have the number 2 offense. They have a number 3 defense. It's a good matchup. It's better than 1-9. So, you know, the best is going to win, and I think the winner of this game is going to be seen in Charleston in a couple of weeks.
I couldn't agree more, Andy. Well, congratulations on everything you've accomplished this year. Go get another one on Saturday night, buddy.
Thank you, Chris.
Andy Bender here on the D&D Sports Network. We'll be back right after this.
Smokey Armstrong here from United Motorsports of Belfry. Looking for your next adventure? We've got the motorcycles, side-by-sides, and ATVs needed to take your riding to the next level. Whether you're hitting the track, enjoying the trails, exploring the open road, or seeking comfort and style, we've got you covered with trusted brands like Honda, Polaris, and Kawasaki. At United Motorsports, we're not just about selling power sports. We're passionate about helping you find the perfect ride. Our team will work with you to customize your vehicle, offer expert advice, and provide top-notch service. No matter where your adventure takes you, ready to get started? Call us at 606-237-7311 or visit www.unitedmotorsportsbelfry.com or stop by today. Your next ride is waiting.
Welcome back, everybody, here to Chapmanville, West Virginia, home of the Tigers as they prepare for their state quarterfinal matchup with the Bridgeport Indians on Saturday night. We're now joined by the head coach of the Chapmanville Tigers, Zach Belcher, here on the D&D Sports Network. Natalie as well, over here, probably the real coach at home, I'd imagine, Coach. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I said the sooner you can admit it, the faster you can move on with your day. That's the best way to go about it. Well, Coach, you're only in here your second year. I said there's been a lot of big names coming in here before you. Again, obviously you had Coach George Barker. You know, James followed him. You had Rob Dial. And now you come in, and you learned a lot under each of them coming up. I said, and what have you been able to take from each of them that's helped you be so successful here early on in your head coaching career?
Well, those guys were great mentors, that's for sure. Coach Barker, played under him. Got a chance to coach under him there the last part of his years, and then I got a chance to coach under Coach Dial and Coach James Barker, and it was a privilege getting to learn off those guys because they really taught you, and it's a lot of the little things, and I appreciate a lot of these guys about, but they really helped me with the practice plan, how to practice, and help me instill that in our guys and really show them, this is the proper way to practice and moving on and off the field, and just holding them to a certain standard that it takes to have a successful program.
And how do you feel like you've developed over the years? I mean, I remember being a young coach when I was 26 and got started, and you're just still a baby yourself in a lot of ways at that point, and you kind of have to develop your coaching style as time goes along. And I think one of the biggest things that I heard all along the way was be authentic. And how have you been able to find your own voice and to be your own self and to be authentic in Zach Belcher's way over the past couple of years?
Well, Coach Barker and them taught me a lot about how to, handle problems when they arise. But one of the main things about me trying to be authentic is I always try to make sure that our players are where they're supposed to be and doing the right things and making sure that they're leaders of the school and leaders on the field and making sure that translates to them in the next part of their life. And I think that our program does a great job at moving those guys into the next part of their life, and even hopefully a few of them getting to play at the next level and succeed. And that's one of the biggest compliments you can have as a coach is whenever somebody comes out of your program and they can say that those guys they came from Chapmanville, they do a good job down there teaching them, getting them ready for the next phase.
And I can vouch for that. I mean, not to speak out of school, the old cliche saying, but I'm literally going to talk out of school here for a second. But Zach, he will hold his players accountable. I said, if you do have an issue with a player, I said, you can go to him. You can talk to him. If they're behind on their grades or behind on an assignment, Zach's one of the first ones there to ask what do they need to do. How are they need to get caught up? What can we do to try and get things better in that situation? So, I mean, he's not just coach on the football field. He's coach at school. He's coach outside of school. And I think that's one of the best things you can do because a lot of coaches – you hear that in the community, they don't hold their players accountable, and I think that's one of the great things you do is hold accountability to these guys. And it's one of those things, they may not appreciate it now, but it's going to be one of those things that they're going to really realize they needed that whenever they get a little bit older.
Oh, yes. Well, a lot of our kids, they come from rough backgrounds, some of them, and a lot of times, sometimes the only time that the kid gets a hug or they get told they're loved is from a coach's standpoint.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. Well, talking about the football side of things, Zach, again, this season, it's been like a whirlwind. It feels like last week we were against Scott here, and, all of a sudden we're in the quarterfinals of the playoffs. But going into last week against Greenbrier East, I know you and I had a brief conversation in the teacher's lounge about it last Friday night, but how were you feeling going into that game last week? Because I know there was a lot of tension. I know there was a lot of, nervous energy going into it. What were you like going into that game?
Well, if you ain't nervous, you're in the wrong place. But playoff football, it's different. You have to bring the best of your abilities, the best part of your game to the playing field, and everything is just so much faster, and the players. It just seems like they hit harder, they try harder, momentum shifts harder, and I think our players rose to the occasion. If you remember, they ran the opening kickoff back, and I just remember looking over my players, and they said, boys, we're in a ball game now. Mm-hmm. And, it ended up being a fun game, and I feel like they fought adversity, and I was glad to see them. I was wondering how adversity they would face it all year, and whenever that happened at Greenbrier East, I thought our boys rose to the occasion. I'm proud of them for that.
And what was the big adjustments that you guys feel like you made? Obviously, you don't have to go through every one of them, but, as a coach, we all know we go home, we reflect, we think back, and then we're like, I did a poor job on this, but then there's times we can pat ourselves on the back like, man, you know what, that was really good what we did right there. I'm so glad that we thought of that. What do you think in your mind was the big adjustment you guys made to help you come out of there with that win?
Well, I thought Coach Bender and Coach Barker done a great job of getting both sides of the ball ready this week or last week. And I just knew, we got punched in the mouth, but we had to stick to the game plan. We had to trust them, and I trust those guys and trust my whole staff. And, I told the boys before we walked out there to the game on Friday night that the game will be won or lost up front. First thing we got to do is control the offensive line. Once we control it, we never give it back, and that's what we did from the first snap to the last.
Yeah, and obviously each step you take in the playoffs, it gets a little bit larger, a little bit more difficult, a little bit more at stake, and now you go up against the team everybody perceives to be the best team. They're ranked number one for a reason, and you guys get a chance to go in there and try and shock the state on Saturday. How do you feel about everything after you've been able to go over some game film and converse with some of your coaches about it?
I feel like this is a great opportunity for our program. I feel like Bridgeport and Coach Ferris up there has done such a fantastic job. This is a great opportunity, and hopefully, you know, to showcase what our program is, what our boys are about, and that no matter what happens, or no matter you know the outcome or whatever, our boys are going to fight from the first whistle to the last. And I'm excited to watch the game. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a physical game, and I think it's going to be a game how football's supposed to be played.
Well, also the start time.
Yes.
Start time has been interesting this weekend. Saturday, 7 o'clock. Again, didn't choose Friday at 7, didn't choose Saturday at 1, chose Saturday at 7. I know that Bridgeport wasn't necessarily thrilled about that decision. Tell me, what went into that decision going forward?
Well, you want to make sure that our boys have, you know, and both teams, you know, you want to try to take the best advantage that you can, you know, and, you know, weather plays a factor into it. We seen that there was going to be rain up there Friday night, and, you know, going into it, you was thinking, you know, maybe put them on the shorter week and stuff like that. But I would like to see, you know, this game is going to be so great. I'm excited for it. And, you know, we want both teams at our best. And I think, you know, push it back, let both teams get ready best you can. You know, we play 7 o'clock, and whoever the better team is on that night is going to be the victor. So no weather, no nothing, just two great teams out there playing on Saturday, next Saturday at 7 p.m.
And I know you're working on the speech that you're going to give, whether it be before the game and halftime, things like that. So I don't want you to divulge that, because I know that'll be special for that moment for you guys and a private moment for you guys. But, you know, if you had a chance to just kind of talk to these guys, and, you know, I know it's the emotional part. I was a crier. I always was whenever I was coaching. So, I mean, they just kind of expected. Actually, they got mad when I didn't cry because they said, you just don't care anymore. But, you know, thinking back on all these guys, I mean, it's not even always – the championship that matters the most. Sometimes it's those moments in the locker room. It's those moments at practice. It's joking around here and there and stuff that make the season special. What is going to be the biggest thing you take away from this year that is going to be maybe most special to you?
I thought, you know, I'm going to miss these boys. I've had them ever since they've been freshmen. Used to go watch them down there at Hearts of Chapmanville playing in middle school. You know, I've even been down there to midget league level watching them. You know, this group is a special group, and I'm proud of them, not only for, you know, the season that they've had, but the foundation that they've laid upon this program for other teams to come and play for the Tigers. And you know, we talk about brick by brick down here, and, you know, they really laid the groundwork of the physicality and of the work ethic in the practice and the work ethic in the off season. And those boys have not only given a great season, but they have given a great game plan of how to win football.
Absolutely. And Natalie, you got any predictions for Saturday?
Tiger.
Is that perfect?
Yeah.
I hope we win too. I like it, Natalie. Great job, girl. And Coach, congratulations on everything you've accomplished this year. Good luck on Saturday night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And Coach Zach Belcher, the Chapmanville Tigers, joining us here today. We'll be back right after this on the D&D Sports Network.
If you got a big job to get done, don't just trust any flagging service. Call Diamond Flagging Service. Diamond Flagging Service keeps your community safe while also making sure it stays moving. Give Diamond Flagging Service a call today for their services. They also offer amazing job opportunities. Diamond Flagging Services, proud supporter of the Mountain Athletes.
Getting ready for sports means protecting those eyes. Up to 90% of sport-related eye injuries can be prevented with proper eye protection. White Eye Care knows this and is committed to providing the best protective sportswear for your child's eyes. As a proud sponsor of our community sports programs, we want to see our kids protected, from the little ones up to the big leagues. Our huge selection of eyewear makes finding that perfect pair easy. So win big this season. Call White Eye Care in Logan for an appointment today.
Welcome back, everybody, on the D&D Sports Network. Now joined by Chase Berry and David Wiley, coaches for the Chapmanville Tigers, coming in here today. And Chase, former quarterback of the Chapmanville Tigers, and talk a little bit about that experience whenever you played and how you've been able to try and impart some of that knowledge on Dakota and some of the others from the time that you played.
A lot of it comes from just playing in the same system that James has going now, because he was the offense coordinator when I played. So already being familiar with it whenever I came in just kind of made it easy to just transition, let them know what James wants, and kind of relay that to both Archer and Dakota.
And David, you obviously were on a lot of good teams as well whenever you played. Graduated in 2009. You said you played with Zach. First of all, how did you survive that?
No, it's a lot of push-ups, a lot of sprints. We got through it then.
Well, I tell you what, though, you do have a connection with one of your players, Trey Ward. Again, both of you guys, very successful track stars, state champions in track and field. I've seen it up on the wall whenever I was used to exercise in the gym, thinking there's no chance I'll ever run that fast. But big question, have you guys decided who's faster?
I believe this track season, if old Coach Dave here can lose about 20 pounds, we might give it a try.
I love that answer. Yeah,
money's on Trey.
Your money's on Trey.
I still got it.
I was going to say, you'd be surprised whenever you're in trouble how fast you can still run. But what's it been like for both of you guys coming back and coaching here and being a part of the staff and being a part of the program that you were both once so successful at?
A lot of pride.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And how about you, Chase? What's been the big point of emphasis for you coming back?
Just kind of learning from Coach Bender and Coach Barker and Coach Belcher, and just because I played under them, just seeing the other side of it and seeing how they prepare and kind of the depth of knowledge they have around the game. Just kind of been fun.
And I think that is one of the real fun things about coming back and coaching, because all of a sudden now you're on the other side of the spectrum. You know, whenever we used to be players, you know, we complain about this, complain about that because of coaching, this and that. And then whenever we become coaches, all of a sudden it's like, I get it now. I know what they meant by that now. And is it hard sometimes to get that across to the younger guys whenever they don't really understand where you're coming from?
Yeah, it often is. You don't really want them to do the mistakes you made.
Yeah. Well, how about you? I know that you like to be in James Barker's ear about what to run and how to run things. How's it different now that you're trying to do the exact opposite?
Oh, when I played, especially playing for my dad, I'd disagree with him. But seeing it from this side, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I get it. I see why they're doing what they're doing. It makes a lot more sense.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, I'm not trying to age Bo or anything, but Bo was actually one of my middle school football coaches back in the day at Logan Middle School. So I go back a long way with Bo. That was whenever he was still a baby too. This before you was even thought of. But you know, Bo's always been involved in this. Been such a good mentor. Been a good guy. Been a good coach as well. And I think that's been one of the great things that Zach's been able to do is put together an experienced staff, you know, whether it be from the top with Coach Barker or George Barker, who is basically the patriarch of everything right now, all the way down to the younger guys like you all. And I'm sure that the coaches' meetings are really fascinating because you've got so many different decades and different age groups that have different perspectives on things. How do you guys influence some of the coaching decisions that go into things week to week where you guys are two of the younger guys?
A lot of debates. A lot of debates.
I just kind of see whatever they want from me that week, and whatever they ask is try to do my best to do what I can for them.
And last thing, I'll let you guys get back over to your group. Again, going into the game against Bridgeport, what is going to be your all's message to some of your all's guys to try and get them going in this game? Because now you know that, you know, playoffs, it's do or die. You guys are both in that situation where you played. What are you guys going to try and talk to them about going into Saturday?
Be very violent.
I love it.
I just trust the staff trust the players. Just keep doing what we've been doing all year.
I was going to say, if you said something about hugs and kisses, I was going to crack up after that. But you know what, Coach Wiley, he's got the mental aspect ready to go for Saturday night. We'll see how things play out over in Bridgeport. Thank you guys for joining us here on the D&D Sports Network. We'll be back right after this. You guys did good.
When it comes to burying a loved one, you need to make sure that they're left in the right hands. That's why you need to call Crum Funeral Home, located in Inez, Kentucky. You can give them a call today at 606-298-0602, located on 498 Kentucky Route 3 North in Inez, Kentucky. Give them a call today, Crum Funeral Home.
Southside Buildings and Carports and Southside Shed Hunters of Louisa, Kentucky offers shed hauling services up to 16 by 52 long buildings. We also have lofted cabins, utility cabins, garages, man caves, she sheds that you can customize and order to your wants and needs with many different options such as workbenches, shelving, transom windows, and much more. You can go to the location or buy using 3D Builder's online order system. You can build right from your own home. We offer metal garages and carports that are built to any size and installed right on your property. For more info, call 304-928-0060 or 304-928-0062. Here at Southside Buildings and Carports, we've got you covered.
Welcome back here, everybody, on the D&D Sports Network. Chris Kidd here with you. Darryl McCoy going to join us as we prepare to sign off here this evening on what's been a fun evening of talking with players and coaches and community members here in the Chapmanville area. And Darryl, it's been another wonderful evening where we get to come together with the community, kind of like what we have in Tug Valley and other areas over the years. And it's really just so special to see how much the people in the community care about each other, how much they love each other, and how much they support each other. I think that's one of the biggest things I love to see coming out of these things.
It is. That's one of the most important things that I've ever found out about the Chapmanville community. As Jack said, D&D, when we first started, Chapmanville wasn't originally in our coverage area. Mm-hmm. And we come up here, and I seen a young man. I started hearing people talk about a young man named Obina and Achille Killen. Yeah. And I was like, I got to get down there and see what this kid's about. So that's how we ended up adding Chapmanville to the coverage area. Well, we come down here, and we was going to do a show with Chapmanville. And when we stopped here to see if Jack and him wanted to sponsor. I didn't know him from adding. And they was like, let's do a show in here. Have players down, do a show. So when we first added Chapmanville, I think it was we was 2 years into D&D, and then we added Chapmanville. Well, we had a show here. Mm-hmm. And then Jack ended up inviting Greg Dalton down and invited Derek Dalton. And so from there, we ended up getting community partners that kept us here in Chapmanville. And the one thing that I've always said, Chapmanville is one of my favorite places to come to because it means so much to this community. It's rare you get that in this day and age. There's so much stuff. These things are out here, kids, that they're on them all the time. It's rare you find an atmosphere like the Tigers have here, and it starts here with Giovanni's. Every Friday night after every ball game, before games, everybody comes here, and this is the rallying point. So, to have this here tonight, it's a special moment.
Absolutely, it is, and I think that's what makes it so much more special for us to be able to do things like this because you do grow a little attached to the kids, you do grow a little attached to the coaches, the community, and so on and so forth, and you want it just as bad as maybe not what they want it, but really close to it. So I know that going up to Bridgeport on Saturday night, I don't know if you'll be joining us or not on Saturday night going up there. I know you've got 1,000 other things.
I'll be going up with you.
Good. So it's like I said, we'll be there on Saturday night, and I know that we've got a responsibility to do as far as professional goes on our broadcast, but we know deep down how tough it is to not root for them openly on the air whenever we get there.
Oh, well, in Bridgeport, they're not anywhere close to our coverage area, so we'll have a little bit more freedom on, being a homer. We try to, because these broadcasts are going over to the NFHS too, so we try to call it down the middle, but there's a part of us that definitely wants the Tigers to win. So,
absolutely.
Did Jack tell you the story of this football?
Yeah, he told me it was from the 1986 team.
Yeah, 1986. It's got Scooter, Mark Chapman, Timmy Chafin, J.J. Abbott. It's got all of them here. But and we seen tonight they was signing the helmet. I don't know where the helmet's going, if it's going here in the restaurant or what. It should. Yeah. But let's talk a little bit of football before we leave here. This Chapmanville Tigers team, 10-0, did not lose a regular season game. what they've done this year, nobody expected. Last year with what they lost to graduation, I mean, everybody thought this was going to be a rebuilding year. But Coach Zach Belcher and his coaching staff has done a tremendous job of having these boys prepared, week in, week out. And, Chris, you're the voice of the Tigers. Did you expect the undefeated season? I mean, I know, if you're being honest with yourself before the season started, I know you expected, a few wins here and there, but did you expect 10-0?
Absolutely not coming in. And not a knock on the boys, not a knock on the staff. It's just going 10-0 is something that's very difficult to do no matter what you're doing. I still remember after the New England Patriots went undefeated in the regular season against the Giants in that last game. Obviously, the Giants went on to upset them in the Super Bowl, but I remember one of the coaches for the Giants came up to Coach Belichick after the game, and he just said, nobody does that. Yeah. And Belichick kind of brushed it off at first, and then he just stopped Belichick and goes, no, nobody does that.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuck with me because it's like these things are rare. And, like my girls' team that won states 2 years ago in tennis, they went 27-0.
Oh, wow.
You couldn't have told me we were going to go undefeated. I would have thought we had some losses in there somewhere. And, we upset Huntington. We upset Greenbrier East. We upset a few other teams along the way. We upset the number one team in the state, Williamstown, to win the title. So, yeah, I mean, you never prepare going in as if you're going to be undefeated. But, my prognostication was they'll get to the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how good they were going to be. And you go back to last year, and they were 1-5. And then they won those last 4 games to get into the playoffs. Man, have they ridden that momentum so far to win these last 15 games. And, it's just been so special to watch them progress week in, week out on both sides of the ball, listen to how great they are. Because normally in class or at school, I hear people complaining about this on their team or that on their team or whatever on their team. And you don't hear that from these guys or these coaches or anybody. I mean, they're just so close-knit.
They're a unit.
It is. And that's what makes this so incredible and why it's so easy to root for these guys.
Yeah, and here's the thing, coming in, 10-0, that didn't come easy. These boys have fought through so much adversity. They started out at the beginning of the year. They had some linemen early in the year that, was injured. Then, going on through the year, you had Preston Kovac. Who would have thought, with Kovac missing games and the games he did play for a large part of the season, he wasn't healthy, and he's still not 100%. Who would have thought that these group of young boys, there's a ton of young talent on this team that they could fight through so much adversity and end up where they're at right now with a chance to go in, knock off Bridgeport, and I got to think probably would be the most successful season ever.
Yeah, and that's the wonderful thing about life. All you can ask for is an opportunity.
Yeah.
And they have an opportunity on Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, and when you look, Preston Kovac, he's an elite back, finished top 10 in a bunch of categories in the mountains. Then you got the young Jackson Topping. Listen, this team, people don't realize what that kid does on both sides of the football.
Absolutely.
He's kind of he's the cog. Like if there's one kid that couldn't get hurt, it would be him. Because if Kovac or Coda got hurt, you could just run the football all the time, or you could just pass it all the time, if you had to. But what Jackson Topping does is hard to replace. And, then, you go and look, I mean, they got Evan Witt. I mean, you just go down the line, Benji Atkins, and we've still not seen the best of, everybody knows as good as they are. There's still a lot of plays in the playbook for Benji and Coda to hook up, Then, you go and look, you see the kid they call Pearl Jam, stepped in, played magnificently for Preston Kovac. This is just, one of them teams that, it's scary. If I'm Bridgeport, I'm worried about Chapmanville. I know they come in, and a lot of people say their schedule wasn't this, their schedule wasn't that. They didn't get a home playoff game. But, Coach Zach Belcher and his squad's done all that you can ask, and that's, he's took care of business, everybody in front of them. Their defense going in the last week had only allowed 52 points on the year.
It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, still hasn't allowed 100 points on the season yet. That right there, if I'm Bridgeport, Chapmanville, they got it to prove. They got a bunch of young bucks. I just hope that these boys understand they're good enough to win this ball game, and I hope they don't get, shell shock going in, realizing, it's the Bridgeport, because these boys has got a chance to go in there and win, especially with that defense the way it is. You got an elite QB, Kovac's getting more healthy. I'm stoked for Saturday.
I am too. I think it's going to be a wonderful atmosphere. You've got two communities that love football.
Yep.
You've got two places that are big on it, got rich in history and all their sports. I mean, it's going to be a raucous atmosphere up there, and I'm like you. This feels like much more than a quarterfinal playoff game. It feels like semifinals or even finals, the way that the build-up's starting to come into this Saturday.
Absolutely, and Chris, as we go off here, we want to thank our community partners. We want to thank Diamond Flag and Company, Eric Home and Drug, Rebound Physical Therapy and Sports Performance, Smell My Tarts, Trend Services. I know I'm forgetting a ton of them, but
Cheeches.
Yeah, Cheeches, Logan Bank and Trust, Missy Birchfield at State Farm, Jim Moore Services, Wide Eye Care. It takes a village to do what we do for the kids here. And, I want to thank George Barker, too, for allowing D&D Sports Network to be the media outlet for the Chapmanville Tigers. Chapmanville, they get more coverage than just about any school in the mountains, and that's because of how the administration and the community works with D&D. That right there, it's a partnership made in heaven. And, again, we want to thank Jack and Jack for allowing us to come here. This is where it started, and then you're coming here on a magical run. Giovanni's in Chapmanville, guys. I highly suggest you get here for all your pizza and pasta needs. Chris, hopefully we'll be sitting here in a couple weeks celebrating a state title.
Absolutely. That's what we're looking forward to. And I tell you what, I said those things are so few, far between, so rare. I said it'd be an honor to be back, to be a part of that. And hopefully we get a chance to experience that going forward, because everything you said, Darryl, absolutely true. Can't get this done without the people that help support Chapmanville, that help support us. And we appreciate everyone out there, our audience especially, too, for being with us, being a part of all this with us, and for sharing your evenings with us on D&D Sports. Your time is valuable, and we appreciate that you spend so much of it with us, and we look forward to you spending it with us on Saturday night as well.
Yeah, it's the folks at home. That's why you're seeing, the player interviews you're doing. They're getting 40,000 people watching the player interviews. Think of that.
Not for me.
No, it ain't from you. You got a face for radio, Chris.
I absolutely have a face for radio.
See if you can put it in there. Jack, we'll take you. You can see right here, Chris. This is a picture.
Oh, wow.
The video. I'm gonna post that later.
Wow,
and,
didn't have the goatee or beard or anything.
No, I didn't have any of that.
He was a baby, Jack.
I was a young pup. And like I said, Jack and Greg Dalton and them, we wouldn't be what we are today here in Chapmanville if it wasn't for partners like them. And again, guys, we want to remind everybody, it's our sponsors that make it happen. It's you folks at home. And until next time, so long and good night. And Chris, as we'll be hitting the road on Friday night, we got one thing to say.
Tiger,
Tiger, Tiger, Tiger.
Have a good evening, folks.